Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, Sir Entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. Thank you so much for popping in tonight. Today is actually the last day of November. Tomorrow is December 1st. I just can't believe it. And then all the festivities start, the holidays, and then parties, and people are getting ready to go away for vacation again. And then we celebrate New Year 2023. All right, so here's how we do this, guys. We start on a Saturday, we roll all the way through the weekend, we finish up on a Friday with a master topic and some great information. If you're new to IFYL, do me a favor, grab your smartphone, launch the camera app, point over to that QR code like I'm doing, hit the little yellow oval, and you'll see my link tree with lots of great information that you can actually use to basically improve the quality of your life. I mean, there's so many great things on there that I think you're going to be really amazed with. There it is right there. I actually hit one of the buttons when I was going through. So you can see all the great stuff and a lot of content. It's all free. And so I want to thank you for coming by. And pretty soon we're going to be celebrating IFYL's birthday. I am so psyched about this. All right. If you're coming back, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. I appreciate you guys so very, very much for being here and supporting me for a very long time. And you're going to be celebrating IFYL's 1-year birthday coming up very, very soon. Let's get into the master topic, shall we? Master topic is how to become more confident. Now, I said more confident. The problem with being confident is a lot of people don't quite understand what it means to be confident. Some people think it's about arrogance. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. When we think about confidence in our life, it's usually about something about can we do something or we can't do something. Now, we all know Henry Ford said it best. If we think we can't do something, we're right. And if we think we can, we're also right. So when we say that we're able to do something, that's the beginning of us planting seeds for confidence. Many people get frustrated because like, oh, I spent all these hours, I did all this stuff, and I'm not getting confidence. You're not getting confidence because just like when you plant a seed, if you stop watering it, what happens? It's not going to grow. So when you plant a seed and you water it, it is going to grow, but you have to keep nurturing. You have to keep cultivating the soil. You have to keep watering. It has to get sunlight, right? Nutrition. So in our lives, the reason that things don't manifest is because we get so hung up on what we see outside. I'm going to go back to myself for a minute, not to be self-righteous, but I want to go back to myself because what's really important is how you understand. And that is, I was 250 pounds a year ago, January. And I fired 7 trainers, years before that. And I got serious about losing weight. And I changed my lifestyle. I'm not on a diet. I'm on a lifestyle change. I still have what I want to eat. And I still don't feel deprived, which is great. But a lot of people won't get to that self-actualization level. And it's real simple. It's because they look at their body. Oh my gosh, I'm 200 some pounds. How am I ever gonna look thin and lean and all that stuff? So what you see today is not always your reality. You see, you are the way you are today from the thoughts you had yesterday and before. So I just knew that I'm going to keep doing this. And I know that I'm going to lose the weight. I know I'm going to feel healthier, but I didn't keep checking the scale every darn day. See, a lot of people do that. They check the scale like, oh, I didn't go down a pound. Who cares? There's salt weight. So, you go up, you go down. And so I just kept believing in the fact that I knew that I was going to be healthier. You know what happened several months later? My stomach went away. I have a very, very tiny stomach now. I mean, I still want to lose another, I think, 10 pounds or so. I'm like 170, 175, and I need to get to like 165. And so what you see is not your reality. I said that correctly. What you see is not your reality. People may be broke, they don't have any money. That's what they see today. But that's not going to be a reality tomorrow. You see, confidence is a skill you develop and you get better over time. You deal with challenges, you deal with frustrations, you deal with obstacles. And the more confident you get, the more you're going to annihilate those obstacles. So let's talk about a game. There's one game called Space Invaders. It was very popular when I was a teenager, and the way Space Invaders worked, even before that, you had to take this little controller, if you will, and then also I played Asteroids. And so the way Space Invaders worked is there was these different rows of all these monsters, and you had to basically hit the bottom ones first. If you try to get them, then you hit the next row, and then every time the rows would move down. So you had to do this very, very quickly. And then you know what happened? I blew through one board and I got confident and I was ready to do the next board. And so confidence, yes, it improves your speed, but it gives you a quality that makes you believe more in yourself and makes you understand that everyone in the world could tell you no. I mean, everyone could say no to you, everyone. But what do you think would make you the most confident right now? I'll tell you what. Maybe hearing something from a loved one, saying, you're great at something. Maybe you get an award for doing something or a certificate. See, these are all things that are going to build your level of confidence. The more that people revere you, okay, for doing something, and I'm not saying stroking your back all the time, I'm saying the more that you get a recognition, but you can't always expect a recognition. But when you get a recognition, obviously it makes us feel good. So you have to be able to be your own cheerleader. Well, John, that's a lot. You want me to live my life, you want me to learn new things, and you want me to be my own cheerleader? Well, I don't know if I could do all that. Well, I didn't say life was going to be easy. I said that you could do it. And I said that you have to make a decision to do it. If you don't make the decision to do it, somebody else is going to live a life. And so you have the ability to create and manifest whatever you want in your life. But you can't get hung up on the Space Invaders that keep moving down. The first time I played Space Invaders, I was like, oh my gosh. I got clobbered immediately. And there was another game I used to play called Astro Smash. I'm not sure if any of you guys remember that. Well, Astro Smash was this game, and when these different things were around, like the different asteroids, so every time an asteroid went down, you lost points. When you hit it, then points would go up. Then there was this little magic star that would go all around, and if you hit that star, it was a lot of points. But if it hit you, you lost a lot of points. So why are games important? Games are important because they stroke our internal ego of feeling good. Now, I've said egos are bad, but egos are good in one sense. When we learn from them, when they teach us a lesson in life, that's when an ego is way up there. I mean, that's like a good ego. And so when you learn why you can't do something right, you don't get unhappy about it. You just have to figure out, how do you retool? How do you do what you need to become confident? So let's say you're a runner, all right? And your time is terrible right now. So what do? You train. And then you start shooting for a small goal. And eventually, after several weeks, several months, you build to that first time that you want to match. And then you get better, and then you're chasing the tiny goals, the micro goals, and then you can get into the bigger goals. What a lot of people do is they go for that big giant goal. Let me give you an example. So in business, you want to have large goals. Nothing wrong with that. Celebrate the small victories. Celebrate the small wins. Okay. One thing that I do, and it's been very helpful, is I take a piece of let's say Post-it paper. And I write on that Post-it paper, I am wired to win. You see, the more your brain keeps hearing it, the more your body keeps seeing that. And the senses are like, oh, I'm wired to win. And you get into that state. Now, I know sometimes you're going to fall out of the state. Why? It's because you feel that you can't do anything. I mean, that's the whole thing. You feel that you can't do something. Is that a bad thing? I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I'm going to tell you that it does take time. It does take time. So if you're always saying, "Hey, John, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this," and a lot of people are saying, "Hey, John, I don't know what I'm going to do." Well, you don't know what you're going to do because you're still worrying about, you're worrying about the tiny things. Okay, you're worrying about those tiny things, and if you worry only about the tiny things, then you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck. I think people get lost in the weeds. They get lost in the weeds because they don't know how to operate. They don't know that they have more power than they think. That's right. I said they have more power than they think. And the minute you start to have a small win in your life, I don't know, maybe it was something really simple like it could be something really small, like when you were younger, you learned how to tie your shoelace. You might say, John, what's the such a big deal about that? Well, you got confidence. Maybe the first thing you learned was not tying your shoes. Maybe it was how to button a button. And then you grew more confident, and then you learned how to put on socks and other things. And as this manifests, you're like, oh wow, I can actually get dressed myself. Now, this seems like an easy task for all of us, but people had to start somewhere, right? Maybe you've never spoken before and you weren't a member of Toastmasters, or you've never done keynote speeches, or you've never done presentations for your company, but you have to start doing them. Don't get hung up in the weeds. You need to realize what it is. And so you don't quite understand what you don't know yet because you're getting so frustrated in life. Does that make sense to all of you? I hope it does. I think the biggest challenge that people have is knowing what they're going to do. And I say this because it's like, you're driving in your car and all of a sudden the cops put up a roadblock because they're doing road work. And you're like, now what do I do? And you see this right arrow and you're like, well, it's going to take me further away, but eventually it's going to get you back to some road that's hopefully going to connect you. And so you go into this little bit of a dizzy because it's not the way you're used to doing things. See, the more that we get uncomfortable about doing something, the more confident we become. Now, it doesn't happen right away, but we become more confident as we progress on. Does that make sense? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing last day of November. I'll be back tomorrow. It's going to be another vast topic of the same because we're still not on Friday yet and not on Saturday. But, I think you're going to start to realize that, hey, I get this confidence stuff and I can do this. Everything I teach is about believe and achieve, which is why the heart of everything I do goes to believemeachieve.com. Again, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Remember to like, love, and support the channel. Definitely tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to, yes, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share it out with everyone you know on social media. Go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space M-O-R-L-E-Y Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, another refreshing beverage, or perhaps a tasty delicious treat for dessert. Either way, we're going to be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content ever. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Feel free to watch any of these because there's so much information in these little nuggeted recordings that I'm giving you, these broadcasts. If you make the decision to apply them to your life, you're going to be a different person in 30 days or less. Have yourself a great night, everyone. Take care. And remember, the power comes from within you.